Welcome to Rambling with Resolvera. Today we are recording our episode number 5 and we have our own Reshma Shah as our guest speaker today. Reshma is a licensed mental health therapist in New York. She works in a clinical setup and recently she has also joined the board of a brand new organization, nonprofit organization called Sahara. So, welcome, Reshma. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us this morning here. And I would really like you to tell our viewers and listeners a little more about yourself, your work, and how it has brought communities in engaging into mental health services.
Thank you so much, Veera, for really having me on your show. Really excited to be here. Okay.
Thank you.
So, I have been in the field of mental health since the past 20 years. I did my master's in social work back from India. And then once I moved here in 2000, since then I've been in this field. I have been, providing individual therapy, family therapy myself in the different places that I have worked. And I've also managed clinics. Currently, I am working with University Settlement, where I manage the child and family program. And I'm also very happy to volunteer with Sahara and really, build this NGO for our community, for the South Asian community, which is a very highly underserved community in this field. I also run a small private practice. Other than, of course, therapy, I like to do a lot of other things like cooking and painting and singing and, basically getting along with the community.
And I believe, Reshma, you also engage in a lot of self care because in the past 10 years, I haven't seen you aging at all.
You're just very gracious.
So I just also wanted to let our viewers and listeners know that in this particular episode, we are not just sticking on to English as a language. We would be also incorporating English and Hindi so that a lot of other viewers and listeners who prefer Hindi can also hear some important tips and some important information that you are providing. Right? Is that okay, Reshma?
सही है हाँ जरूर से हाँ.
Okay, so let's go on to the next question. Hamara agla sawal is with the pandemic, it has been still a major issue. COVID बहुत situation हमारा खराब कर चुका है community के हिसाब से, business के हिसाब से. और ये एक social challenge है. This is a very big social challenge, right? And we have seen major impacts in the community. So as a mental health therapist, what have you seen as impacting the community from the mental health service and the mental health issues perspective?
Right. So very rightly said. I mean, we definitely know how COVID has impacted the physical health, right? We all are aware about it and we all keep hearing about cases and all that. But COVID has also strongly impacted even the mental health. Okay. What I'm seeing and is that in the past 1.5 years. And I think that even this whole transition back is going to be people are really having a difficult time transitioning back also. But in the past 1.5 years, what I have definitely seen is that, people who have never had any mental health issues before, never, no history of trauma or no mental health issue in the past, have suddenly developed mental health symptoms of anxiety, depression, all coming out of social isolation, fear, like constantly hearing news, and also of course even bereavement, because many of people have lost loved ones either here or they have lost them back in their countries and they've not been able to even grieve properly about it. So I'm really seeing a lot of all these issues coming up where people are reporting, I'm having a lot of backache, I'm having a lot of muscle ache, I'm having headaches, stomach upsets, not being able to sleep properly, feeling as if something wrong is going to happen, thinking about death. Okay, so these are and they've said that in the past we not even thought about all these things. We were just having fun, enjoying life, going on, nothing at all like this happening. So we're seeing that, and definitely in people who've had underlying mental health issues, there has been an escalation of all these symptoms, right? So if you were already feeling depressed, anxious, or something, you are experiencing the symptoms much more because of the pandemic. So that's definitely a trend that we're seeing. And the other thing that I'm noticing is also that this is also in young children. So I'm not just only seeing this in adults, but young children, as much as like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, where parents are reporting that the child is getting very aggressive at home, or the child is showing very suddenly regressive behaviors, like they're not acting like a 4-year-old उस छोटे बच्चे की तरह एकदम एक्ट कर रहे हैं. तो ये जो सारे सिम्टम्स जो है वो हम अडल्ट्स में भी देख रहे हैं और बच्चों में भी देख रहे हैं कि नींद ठीक से नहीं आ रही है, घबराहट होती है, बेचैनी हो जाती है, स्टमक अपसेट हो जाता है, बॉडी एक उनको बहुत ज्यादा लगता है जो पहले उनको कभी कुछ भी नहीं था. तो हाँ, ये डेफिनेटली मेंटल हेल्थ इम्पैक्ट बहुत हुआ है कोविड के अंदर.
एंड रेशमा, ट्रैवलिंग में भी काफी फर्क पड़ा है. लाइक पहले लोग ट्रैवल कंफर्टेबली करते थे, बच्चों के लिए अंदर एक एक्साइटमेंट होता था, समर वेकेशन आ रहा है, ट्रैवल करेंगे. सो वो लाइक ट्रैवल हैज बिकम अ बिग चैलेंज, क्योंकि अब जाने से पहले कहीं आपको 10 बार सोचना पड़ता है कि टेस्ट करवाना है, एंड इट ऑलरेडी क्रिएट्स, वो स्ट्रेस क्रिएट कर देता है. एंड जो एडल्ट्स को जो स्ट्रेस होता है, दैट काइंड ऑफ गेट्स reflected on the child, that
Absolutely.
adult anxiety, and the child is showing like a double anxiety because one is their own and one is being reflected by the parents, right?
Right. Absolutely. If we see, first of all, Veera, children's activities, right? Like before, children could really go out and play, right? Which is so important for any child's development. So, yeah. So, children could go out and play. And because of the pandemic, that, children had stopped playing, had stopped going out. Even families had stopped traveling and all that. So, of course, being in the house all the time together, right? The parents are also working, the child is also there, and the other thing that I have really been seeing and people are really complaining is their addiction to the phone and to the computer and to electronic devices, because that became the only way of socializing and entertainment, right? So a lot of that has also happened. And then of course, because of addiction to electronic media, we know that how it has an impact on our sleep, our eating, and all that. Okay, so and as you rightly said कि बच्चों के ऊपर there has been a double anxiety, because when they see that their parents are feeling anxious, okay, we feel that children are just playing, okay, they're in the background, they're just playing, they're just doing their own things, okay. But no, children are constantly absorbing everything from the environment, okay. So when they are seeing that their parents are feeling anxious, when they're talking on the phone back in their country, talking about someone who's gone away, and are looking anxious or are looking depressed, children are somewhere seeing all that, they're mirroring all that, okay, they are absorbing all that, and it is also displaying in their behaviors and in their emotional regulation.
It is the perfect timing, Reshma, that you came to be the speaker of Resolvera, Rambling with Resolvera, because we are in a back to school setup now, about 2 or 3 weeks into school, right? And this is after the summer vacation. Over the summer vacation, we saw certain countries, especially India, having such a rise in the cases, and then it came down. The new variant came into being. The elementary school children are not yet vaccinated and they are going back to school. So there is a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, especially among the parents. And that it also includes the parent community, because I have an elementary school going child, and definitely before sending back to school, it was like going over all the paperwork and making sure everything is in place, all the tests are done. So my next question to you is that the school recently opened, and while adults and adolescents have been vaccinated, there is a bigger number of individuals, especially elementary school level children, who are not yet vaccinated. Right. And what level of parental anxiety do you see? मतलब बच्चों को वैक्सीन्स नहीं मिला है, तो पेरेंट्स का एंजाइटी लेवल हम समझ रहे हैं कि है, लेकिन फ्रॉम अ क्लिनिकल पर्सपेक्टिव, क्या दिख रहा है? What is coming out and what is the screaming need right now among parents?
Right. Right. So definitely, Veera, parents are having a high level of anxiety, right? The anxiety is definitely like, what if the school goes into a lockdown, or when it will go into a lockdown again, right? You know, how many cases are there? What's being happening? So there is that, definitely that fear that if my child goes to the school, I hope the cases don't increase. I hope my child does not catch it or something like that. Okay. So there's also been another mixed feeling has also been there, that parents are also seeing that children are getting back into some routine. Okay, so that has also been a little bit of relief to them, because it was getting hard for parents to educate the child at home. Okay, when you are working and then you have to be constantly with your child who's also on Zoom, especially with the younger children and all that, and helping them with studies. And so you're doing the double role. You're working, plus you're doing the role of a teacher, right? So it
Right.
was really too much for the parents. So in a way, yes, some of them are also very relieved that, okay, the children are back. But it's like you are just waiting, right? Okay, when this, hopefully nothing goes wrong, and hopefully there is not a lockdown. It's like they have that fear at the back of their heads. Okay, that what if something goes wrong again, and I hope my child is not contracted. Okay, so और ये अंडरस्टैंडेबल बात भी है, राइट? क्योंकि जो छोटे बच्चे हैं वो वैक्सीनेटेड नहीं है, कुछ पेरेंट्स ने चूज भी किया है, आई नो आउट ऑफ न्यूयॉर्क सिटी मोर, जहाँ पे चूज किया है, अगर उनको ऑप्शन दिया गया है कि अगर रिमोट बच्चे पढ़ सकते हैं, तो उन्होंने वो ऑप्शन चूज किया है। न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में मैं जानती हूँ दैट दे आर फॉलोइंग अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोटोकॉल्स, द स्कूल्स, एंड दे रियली ट्राइंग देयर बेस्ट, दे आर रियली रियली ट्राइंग देयर बेस्ट,
Right.
so that children can really be safe, right? I've heard things like, yeah, children can't even like drink water in the classroom. Like, you can't just remove the mask. You have to go outside of the classroom even to drink the water, that way. So schools are really also trying their best. And parents, I also know, are following the protocols, regular testing, वगैरह सब कुछ. So I think as we are moving back more towards like transitioning back into this, pre-pandemic time, it's still very important that we all just keep following the protocols that the city and the government is asking us to follow, not only just for our safety, but for the safety of others. Okay, and as parents, I think it's very important that if you follow that protocol yourself at home and at work and at social things, your child will automatically follow it. So if you don't follow it, if you're not taking the safety measures yourself, the child is also not going to feel that it's that important, right? So in school, then they will not follow it, and there are other children around. So yeah, that is the basic fear. यही एक basic fear parents में है कि मैं तो सब कुछ follow कर रहे हैं, लेकिन what if my child is interacting with other children who are not following the protocol? So that's why it's very important that all of us kind of like really remain on that same page and follow the protocol for the safety of everyone.
Understandable. Another question, like related to this particular one, I wanted to ask you, okay, clinical setup made, are you seeing more increase in like parents coming for services and children coming for services?
Both we are seeing more increase, definitely, for children and parents both. Okay, so for children now, because the schools have just started, right, and there's going to be in October, they have the first parent child conference, right? And we have already started hearing a lot from like health home coordinators and all that, where they're reporting that this child does not want to go to school, or this child is coming to school but is hitting other children. Okay, getting aggressive, especially with the younger ones, because the whole last year, especially if you didn't go to pre-K, right, and now you're suddenly going, they didn't learn the whole social setup. Okay, when you go to a school, how you're supposed to behave, what you're supposed to do, right? So now you're suddenly thrown into this school environment, and you have these children who are finding it hard to sit down in one place, running around. Okay, because at home you could do that while you were studying online, right? But now being in the classroom is tough. Feeling irritable, angry. Okay, That is something that parents are voicing, that they're seeing that in many children, because I think children are not able to express very clearly how this whole transition for them is, this adjustment for them is. Yeah, before you could wake up at 8 o'clock, put on your Zoom and just join in the classroom. Now you have to get up at 6:30. So there's a whole routine at home that needs to be changed, right? The child has to get up, get ready, go actually to the school. So बच्चों को थोड़ा वो difficult हो रहा है, parents को भी
Mhm.
difficult हो रहा है, but in children it's manifesting more in these kind of things, that they're getting angry, and as I said, regressive behavior. So you might have a 6-year-old who's suddenly behaving more like a 4 or 5-year-old, being very clingy to the parent. Okay, they don't want to leave the parent. Suddenly things like bedwetting and all that. Okay, in teenagers again, having anxiety. So like, I know that in the first week we actually had calls where people were literally like, my teenager was sitting in the car for 1 hour and literally like shaking. Okay, they had a hard time just getting out of the car and going into the classroom. Okay, the parents were,
Understood.
yes, yeah. So really like having severe anxiety, social anxiety, and also this whole thing of, how am I going to cope. Many of the children, they just went to new high schools, like they did not even know now which is this high school that I'm going to, right? Last year I could not even say a bye bye to my friends in the other school, in the middle school, and now I'm jumping to a new high school. So yes, a lot of anxiety are related to that. And of course adults also, we are seeing a lot more as people are transitioning back to work, right? Transitioning back to keeping a regular routine at home, all that. There is definitely adjustment, anxiety, relational issues. There has been a very sharp increase in relational issues between couples, okay, over the pandemic, because again, you were working from home. So you're constantly in that same space together, right? Before, you were going to your work. So even if you had a little issue, but you went back to work, you kind of like got onto the track,
There
you
was a
socialized
change
with
in
others.
environment, वो माहौल
Right.
बदल जाता था,
हाँ, माहौल
लेकिन
बदल जाता है,
कोविड की वजह से माहौल बदलना बंद हो
बदलना
गया
नहीं,
और वो
हाँ, तो
एक
वो
ही
रिलेशनल
स्पेस में इट वाज लाइक अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट गोइंग ऑन एंड ब्लरिंग ऑफ बाउंड्रीज.
राइट, राइट, तो वही हुआ, रिलेशनल इश्यूज उसकी वजह से भी अडल्ट्स में थोड़े इंक्रीज हो गए। और जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में सिम्टम्स कहा ना, कि स्लीप डिस्टर्बेंसेस, ईटिंग डिस्टर्बेंसेस, फिजिकल सिम्टम्स ऑफ एंजाइटी, डिप्रेस्ड मूड, वो सारे भी a lot of adults are reporting. So there's definitely, I know that there are clinics in New York City which are not taking cases क्योंकि wait list बहुत लंबा है. They are having a huge wait list. You have so many people who are applying for services, and that's why something like a Sahara is very, very much needed, because and I know that even people who are in private practice, all my friends who are in private practice, everyone's full. Literally, they've reached their caseload levels. Okay,
Right.
so we actually need more help related to this issue in the community, definitely.
एब्सोल्युटली. सो रेशमा, इसी सवाल से जुड़ा हुआ एक सवाल मैं थोड़ा कंटिन्यू करना चाहती हूँ कि
हाँ.
हमें पता है कि पिछले मोर देन 18 मंथ्स हम ये कोविड सिचुएशन को हैंडल कर रहे हैं. कोविड ने कई सारे वेरिएंट्स, अपने अवतार, अपने रूप चेंज किए हैं, राइट? एंड एवरी टाइम इट कम्स विद अ न्यू वेरिएंट, देयर आर न्यू स्ट्रेसेस रिगार्डलेस ऑफ वैक्सीनेशन लेवल. जो वैक्सीनेटेड है उनके लिए भी, जो अनवैक्सीनेटेड है उनके लिए भी काफी स्ट्रेस इश्यूज हैं. सो कुछ चीजें तो हमको स्कूल में दिख जाती हैं, and there has been so many new social work recruitments in New York City schools, right? Like about 500 new social workers got their employment. So school में अगर बच्चा कुछ face करता है, if there are issues that are observed in the school, there are teachers and there are social workers. If they are able to identify that, they follow up with the parents, right? बट कई बार क्या होता है कि बच्चा कॉन्शियसली स्कूल में उतना एक्सप्रेस नहीं करता है, लेकिन घर पे ज्यादा एक्सप्रेशन हो जाता है. एंड as far as our South Asian community is concerned, you and I, both as professionals and mental health therapists in the field, we know that mindset is that, where do we find help? वो ठीक हो जाएगा, कुछ दिनों की बात है, मैटर सॉल्व हो जाएगा, संभल जाएगा. things like that. दोस्तों को मिस कर रहा है या grandparents को मिस कर रहा है, कई दिनों तक बाहर नहीं गया. We justify as a community, we justify the behavioral changes,
Right.
and rather going to mental health therapy. वो जाने से पहले हम 10 बार सोचते हैं, लेकिन पहले हम 100 बार justify करते हैं, right?
So yeah.
Now in a situation like this, जहाँ पे बच्चा घर पे is showing, at home the child is showing behavioral issues, school is going fine, sometimes up and down, manageable.
Right.
In a situation like that, what should the parents or that individual do? Where should they go? So my question is, what help is available for a situation like this, where we see difference in behavior in different environments?
Absolutely. So help to available here. Okay, there's a lot of help available. First, I'm going to go to the first part of the comment that you mentioned,
Sure.
Where, they, where parents and, society, community tends to just justify or normalize it and don't actually reach out for help till actually a crisis happens. Okay, so that your child is really doing something and they land up in the ER or whatever, right? So what is it that is stopping from reaching out for this help, Veera? It is this whole stigma of related to mental health. Okay? So when we say that mental health, people assume that, oh, mental health, that means you have to go really cuckoo. Okay? And sad to say, but the way it is depicted in our media, in Bollywood movies, is basically the way that, oh, people are literally like psychotic or psychopath and they're going cuckoo, and that's why, they need to have mental health help or something like that. No, mental health is not that. Mental health is your mental health well-being. Okay, so the way you're physically fit, the same way you are even mentally fit. Okay, being in therapy does not mean that you are going to see a therapist and be on that couch for the rest of your life. Okay, no. When we are talking about this, and a lot of therapists are nowadays practicing what we call as short-term solution-focused therapy. Okay, where people come to you with a very specific issue, and that is what the aim of therapy is. That, okay, you're having this adjustment issue going on right now, or whatever like that. 8-10 sessions, we treat that. Okay, and then you're done and you are discharged, because each individual, chahe chota bacha bhi ho, everyone has their strengths and their coping skills. Okay, what therapy does is that it just adds some more tools to your toolbox. So your therapist is teaching you some new relaxation skills, doing certain core beliefs changes which might be there. Okay, and helping you kind of like just add more tools so that you get successfully discharged, and eventually in life, as you keep having issues, you use some of these different tools. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to do, is कि मैं mental health के बारे में ये जो डर है ना, वो निकालना बहुत जरूरी है. Okay, क्योंकि अगर ये डर निकलेगा तभी लोग आएंगे सर्विस के लिए. तो mental health का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप पागल हो रहे हो और आप मतलब पूरा आपका दिमाग गुम हो गया है. ये सिर्फ आपको थोड़ा एडजस्टमेंट इश्यू हो रहा है लाइफ में. और बैक इन आवर कंट्रीज, हमारे देशों में तभी हमारे होते थे, हम नानी के साथ बात करते थे, दादी के साथ बात करते थे, या किसी के साथ बात करते थे. तो यहाँ पे हमारा वो सपोर्ट सिस्टम चला गया है. तो हम किसके साथ बात करें? कोई ट्रेन्ड प्रोफेशनल के साथ बात करें, जो सबसे पहले ट्रेन्ड हो उसमें, और सेकेंडली जो हमारी बात कॉन्फिडेंशियल रखेगा, which is very important about mental health, क्योंकि you don't want to talk to your friends who first of all are not equipped. Okay, so they're not trained professionals. They'll hear you out. Your friend will hear you out. Okay, but they're not trained professionals who can help you. And secondly, the whole thing of confidentiality. Where does that come in friendship, right? So that's why you go to a social worker, a therapist, taki they are trained in that area, and also they're going to keep the confidentiality there. Okay, तो ये एक डर जो है ना mental health के बारे में, ये निकालना बहुत जरूरी है. तो ये एक डर अगर आपको निकल गया, then the next steps comes कि what is the resource then that is available. Okay, so there are definitely outpatient clinics. Okay, जैसे कि University Settlement है, Child Center of New York है, and now we have Sahara. Okay, one more new outpatient clinic which is opening up in Queens, जहाँ पे we have our community, so much of our community, right? Okay, so these places are available, very simple. In an outpatient clinic, सिर्फ you can just call up. You can just call up and you can say, I just want to get an evaluation done. Okay. You're not signing any contract that, when you're applying for service, that I'm going to be there for like, so much long time or something. If you suspect that your child or even yourself or any of your family member is having some sort of, there's a certain change in them that you're noticing, and you suspect, let me just get an evaluation done, all that you have to call up these clinics and just say that I just want to get an evaluation done. That's all. Okay. And most of the places, they will take the application on the phone. They're not going to tell you, okay, oh, come here and, bring us a referral and all that. They'll just take your information over the phone and they'll set up an intake appointment. In intake appointment, a social worker will talk with you or with your child, and with both. If it is a child, definitely try to understand the situation and guide you accordingly. Okay, so suppose if your child is feeling very socially isolated and needs help with that, they'll probably connect you with some social organizations, who do something like that. Okay, and that can help the child. If the child is having anxiety, depression, anything like that, they will suggest to you. Again, coming for therapy does not mean कि you'll be put on medication. कि आप therapy के लिए आ रहे हो तो आपको दवाई पे चढ़ा ही देंगे. Okay, no. Clinics में 80% of the cases are only coming for therapy. Okay, सिर्फ 20%, only 20% of the cases are the ones which need medication management, and that too, clinics will have their own psychiatrists, doctors, who will do the evaluation and will suggest to you that this medication will help you. उसका मतलब ये नहीं है that they're just going to force you to take these medications.
Right. मतलब डिसीजन मेकिंग क्लाइंट के पास होता है कि अगर डॉक्टर मान लीजिए कोई सजेस्ट करता है कि थेरेपी के साथ आपको ये दवाई लेके आसानी होगी, फिर भी डिसीजन आपका है कि आप वो दवाई लेते हैं या नहीं.
Right. Also, secondly, dawai is not, medication is something not that you have to take for the rest of your life. Okay. So if you're being given an antidepressant or anti-anxiety, does not mean that you're going to be on it for the rest of your life. Okay. It's just to help you with that phase. And then as you're getting better, the medications get titrated. I have seen so many patients who eventually have been off medications and then they just continue therapy for some time, and after that they even do well in therapy and then they're discharged. Okay.
Exactly.
So the aim is to, yes, get people well and get them to move out. Okay. So, okay, if you are a little hesitant to go to clinics or something, talk to your PCP. I always tell parents that the first thing what you can do is just talk to your PCP. Okay. And ask your PCP to do a depression screening or an anxiety screening. Most of the PCPs, they do that. Okay. And if something comes up in that, because I know कि South Asian community में हम अपने डॉक्टर को बहुत जल्दी ट्रस्ट करते हैं और ज्यादा ट्रस्ट करते हैं, राइट?
Exactly.
तो अपने डॉक्टर से बात करें, खुल के बात करें कि मुझे ये हो रहा है. ओके. और डॉक्टर विल डू एन evaluation, just a brief screening, और आपको फिर सजेस्ट करेंगे कि हाँ, लगता है कि maybe you need a mental health evaluation. These are the places that you could call up. NYC Well, which is a very good resource by the city. You can just call them up and ask them, I live here, I need an outpatient clinic in so-and-so area. Can you please give me? Okay, because we don't expect people to travel from Bronx to Long Island, right? It's not fair. You should try and get help and services in the area where you are. Okay, just call up NYC Well, 1-800-NYC Well, right? And just ask them that, this is it. I need a clinic in my area. And if अगर आपको specific language needs है कि भाई मैं हिंदी बोलते हैं, Bengali बोलते हैं, like in Sahara, we have so many therapists who speak Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, right? So we have all those languages specially available. So just call up, ask them, and they will guide you then to that particular clinic or that place where your needs will be best served. Okay. And then, as I said, you just call up the clinic, apply for services, and you will just get an evaluation done. That's it. एक evaluation करवा लो और आपको therapist suggest करेंगे फिर कि भाई therapy की जरूरत है या psychiatrist को भी दिखाने की जरूरत है या कुछ और जरूरत है, and accordingly guide them accordingly. Okay. Most important, don't wait till crisis stage. My sincere request to all families, to all children, to all parents, कि प्लीज क्राइसिस स्टेट तक मत वेट करो, कि things really happen in a bad shape and you have to go to the ER or you have to go to this thing, okay, or ACS gets involved in your case or something. If there are issues, just call up. All services are confidential and there is a trained professional that's helping you out, so just reach out for the help. Okay.
Thank you for mentioning that crisis stage and certain behavior in your last answer, Reshma, because I would like to know, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners would like to know, that what are those red flags?
Right.
क्या चीजें सामने आती हैं जब ऐसा
Right.
जरूरत पड़ता है कि एक थेरेपिस्ट की जरूरत है या इवैल्यूएशन करवाने की जरूरत है? सो व्हाट डू वी रियली लुक फॉर? किस चीज पे नजर ज्यादा जानी चाहिए या क्या ऐसा रेड फ्लैग है जो मतलब हमको बता रहा है कि शायद वी हैव टू थिंक बियॉन्ड जस्ट सेटलिंग
Right.
डाउन एट होम?
Right. Very nice, Veera, because yes, so the red flags are clearly a sudden change in behavior. Okay. So suppose if you have, whether it's an adult or whether it's a child, okay, a sudden change in behavior. You had someone who was really very happy-go-lucky, fine, ekdam, and now you feel that they are just isolating themselves, not coming out of the room, not showing an interest in activities. Okay, so anything, like going out or let's go to a restaurant, have this thing, and they're constantly like, no, I'm not interested. Okay, talking a lot about like physical aches, that I'm having a lot of back aches and muscle aches and headaches. Okay, okay, those are signs that could be having a lot of stomach upsets. Okay, that are having digestion problems and all that. Sleep, definitely someone who sees that keeps saying that I'm not able to sleep well, or I sleep but in the middle of the night I get up, okay, and then I'm not able to go back to sleep. Someone I mean, to go to more severe, is like a child or an adult clearly expressing that I am feeling very down, I feel life is hopeless. ठीक है, मुझे मन नहीं कर रहा है, मुझे like clearly कभी कभी हमारे कल्चर में what happens in our culture, क्या हो जाता है कि बच्चे आके बोलते भी है, ओके, कि मुझे ऐसा हो रहा है, मुझे स्कूल में ध्यान नहीं मन कर रहा है, someone is bullying me, someone is doing or someone in the family is about abuse in the family, right? Especially about sexual abuse also. Okay, I'm going to leave that also, where a child might really come and report to you like, I'm not very comfortable with that person, mom, you leave me with that person, but I'm not very comfortable, and we tend to shrug it off, नहीं नहीं ये family है, ये क्या है ना, बच्चा है, you are just like that.
या
No,
ऐसे नहीं बोलते, बड़ों के लिए
ऐसे नहीं
ऐसे नहीं
बोलते, हाँ, बड़ों के लिए ऐसे नहीं. Please listen, okay, please listen. The first thing I would say is listen, okay. If your child or any adult is reporting, your friend, anyone is saying like that, about feeling hopeless, feeling down, feeling lack of interest, let's listen, okay. And if we listen and we can just check with them, are you feeling like that, do you want to get some help, and it's very easy to get help, right? So this is like when they're actually verbalizing it. And as I said, the other non-verbal cues or other ways that people could be reporting it is via sleep disturbances or, physical symptoms, where they are mentioning. You might notice marks on people. Always ask if you notice some marks. For example, very classic sign. Someone in summer is wearing sweaters and roaming around, or wearing full sleeves and roaming around. They could be having cutting marks on their hands or somewhere which they are trying to hide. Okay, so if you are noticing anything which is looking like a little bit strange out of this thing, I would just suggest just probe a little, question a little, and try to check. हम लोग कल्चरली इतना ये हो गए हैं कि मेंटल हेल्थ को एकदम छुपा देते हैं. तो हम लोग है ना, और फेसबुक वगैरह पे जाओ तो सब तो अपने हैप्पी पिक्चर्स ही लगा रहे हैं. नो वन इज गोइंग टू पुट अ सैड फेस ऑन फेसबुक, राइट? तो सबको लगता है कि अरे ये फैमिली इज सो हैप्पी, कितना सब कुछ अच्छा है और कुछ यहाँ पे नहीं चल रहा है एंड ऑल दैट. नो प्लीज, दैट इज अ फेक वर्ल्ड. मैं तो क्लियरली बोलती हूँ, मैं खुद लगाती हूँ फेसबुक पे बहुत सारा, बट it's honestly, let's not just go by that, okay. Let's go by really in our interaction with people, what we notice, what they are saying. If you notice any unusual behaviors, gently ask them, okay. You don't have to make a judgment कि हाँ इसको कुछ है ही तो मतलब ऐसे कर रहे हैं, but gently ask. Let's show that care and compassion to others. And you will be surprised that when you gently ask people, they will reveal कि हाँ मुझे ये हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है. Okay, and then you just guide them to the resource, that there are resources, there are clinics here, there are therapists here. Psychology Today, again, a very nice website. You want to just find a private practitioner for yourself, just go to Psychology Today, search up, look up, and just call them up. Okay,
Right.
most important thing, reach out for the help, don't hesitate. And if you see someone else is having symptoms, gently just guide them towards it.
So
Okay?
I believe the symptoms are also would include like grade class में grades कम होना, right?
Sorry, yeah, right.
Yeah, it would also include like, somebody who is like just isolating themselves and getting irritable in general, like जो चीजें अपने favorite चीजों को से ध्यान हट जाना, like not
Right,
enjoying the favorite activities, not
right,
using the favorite things,
right.
that they used to like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what the change in the sudden change in their behaviors or personality that you observe, कि उनको बाहर नहीं जाना है, उनको अभी एक्टिविटी में ज्वाइन नहीं होना है, irritable हो जाते हैं, आप कुछ पूछते हैं, you ask your child something or an adult something, and they just kind of like, just get very angry very easily. Okay, that's what. Those are clearly signs, that there might be something that might be, happening there. And as I said, just probe, ask, and gently just guide them. That's what, Okay.
Awesome. So, Reshma, as we are wrapping up our episode now, I want you to really say a few words definitely about Sahara, because it's an absolutely new nonprofit clinical setup, and it is located in Queens, and we understand that it is for the underserved community members who might and who may need mental health services, but sometimes because of language barrier or some other issue are not able to reach out, right? Because as you said कि बहुत लंबा waiting list है, अचानक cases इतने increase हो गए हैं, professionals, even I in my clinical, sessions, I see that there is a waiting list, and that waiting list, it's not really coming down, and I'm sure you all are seeing the same thing. So what are your what is your piece of advice for professionals? That is one thing I want you to talk about, and definitely talk a little bit about Sahara, because I want this platform to talk a little bit about this new place, so that people also come to know, our viewers and listeners, they also know about this new resource that has come.
Right. Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Veera. Yes. First of all, in terms of tips for professionals. Okay. So tips for professionals, I would definitely suggest your own self-care. It's very important, right? So your own self-care is very, मतलब बहुत जरूरी है, so that you engage in things and activities that you really like to do. Okay, that's what, because you are listening to a lot of trauma, right? And you need to process it yourself, right? So it's very important. Either you talk to your supervisor, or you talk to your other therapist friends, okay, or you be in therapy yourself, to just get support and validation for your own work, okay, that you're doing, right? Okay. And of course, any other form of relaxation that you like yoga, meditation, singing, cooking, dancing, going out, getting ready, having fun, okay, just do that. All those self-care activities are extremely important, okay, right? And when you feel that, as a therapist, one of the things that I check for myself is that, when I feel like, okay, I am really stressed out, or I am really tired now, is when I feel this little lack of empathy for my clients. Okay, where if I feel, okay, I'm reaching that point somewhere, when I'm listening to someone and I'm like, having lack of empathy, that means I know that somewhere I am stressed out or feeling a little burnt out, and I need to go back and recharge my batteries again, and then come back, so that then only I will be an effective therapist. Okay.
This is so important, Reshma. Sorry, I just cut you here. I had to, because the thing that you just said about yourself and relating that to practice is so important for professionals, because it is so true that if we start lacking empathy for our clients, we are not really providing quality service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that would resonate in our communication, that would come
Mm-hmm.
out in our way of dealing with those issues. Our
Absolutely.
burnout will actually give out the smoke in a session.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
it's definitely like, thanks for saying that. That phrase that you said, that if I lack empathy,
Mm-hmm.
that is the most important part, I think, in understanding yourself as a professional. Self-care is so
Absolutely.
important.
Important. So that's what. So as a therapist, it's very important to have that, check on yourself. Okay, that where am I? And before you do any therapy session or anything, align yourself. Okay, because when you are aligned, you will help you will help your client to align. Okay, and there have been times when if I have felt that what, today I'm really not up to it. Okay, I will cancel the sessions that day, because it does not make sense that if I am not rightly charged or I am not aligned myself, I'm going into a therapy session. Okay, that's what. So as a therapist, check yourself. That's what. And recharge your battery and come back, because we all need that recharging as therapists. And I think, as not only just as therapists, as anyone who is in a field which is providing care to others, whether you are as a physician, whether you are as a home health aide, anything where you're providing care to someone else, it's very important that we have to check that on ourselves and make sure that we are fine, and then we step into the field. Okay, that's what. Going to Sahara, yes. So I am really excited to talk about Sahara, because, and Veera, we're very happy you are also part of it. Okay,
It's my
so
pleasure,
yeah.
definitely.
So Sahara is actually it is an initiative that has come up by a group of women. Okay, we have our wonderful president, Dr. Mustafa, who's heading it, right, and who's actually been very generous to really give her wonderful space for Sahara. Sahara is located in the heart of the community. It is in Astoria in East Elmhurst, where we have a lot of our community. Beautiful place with a lovely garden outside, a lovely parking space. Seriously, it's very hard to get such kind of a facility. Okay, so a big thanks to Dr. Mustafa and Dr. Rahman. Okay, whose vision was always there to give something to the community, and they really gave back to the community. Okay, and that's how Sahara was born last year, where a group of us came together, right,
Yes.
and really saw this need in the community, and the gap in services, and how much our community needs help with mental health. We also want to definitely bring in even more services in there for the community, like maybe a food pantry or something like that eventually, as we grow even more and more, right? But yes, since we are all a group of social workers there, all licensed clinical social workers, and Dr. Mustafa, who is our psychiatrist, and we also have Rubaya and Dr. Zufashan, who are helping us so much, with everything. It's a group that has come together, and we have started this thing. The plan for Sahara is definitely, and we've already started providing direct services. So if anyone needs any help with mental health, please feel free to contact us. You can go onto our website, Sahara NYC, and get more information about us. So as I said, that yes, we and the other plan that yes, Sahara is also planning to do is to do a lot of workshops in the community. So this whole month and the next month, we're going to be doing a lot of educational workshops on mental health in the community, so that there is more awareness about this issue that is there. And yes, please follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Sahara is also eventually Sahara wants to be financially independent by itself. But right now, as a grassroots organization, we are fundraising for our startup. Okay. And we really request the community, whatever small little contribution also that you can do will be very helpful to us. It's all of us are volunteers. So no one is like a paid staff. So it's all just going to go back into the program and help us to develop more and more programs for the community. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you for saying that, Reshma, and also followers, viewers, and listeners of Resolvera. You would see Sahara information on Resolvera page, and you can also get this information while listening to this Rambling for Resolvera episode. And with this, Reshma, we are wrapping up our episode today. Thank you so much for joining. I have known you for more than 10 years now. I believe, like, since I myself was a graduate student doing my doctorate, I have known you since then. You've been a friend, you've been my supervisor, you have been my colleague, you have been my advisor. I mean, like, you've played multiple roles in my life.
Been a
And I
pleasure.
really look up to you. Thank you so
The
much.
feeling is mutual, Veera, and that's what Sahara again is also a platform for other NGOs, for other not-for-profit organizations to join in, and that's what we want to build this community even more. So we have Resolve Veera, which is joined us in. We have Asho, which has joined us in already and is helping us out. I really want even other not-for-profit organizations to join us in, so that we can all coordinate and really see how best we can help our community together. Okay.
Exactly. So develop a resource network for our community members so that they can get direct services. And if one agency is not equipped, they can connect them to another one that is equally helpful, in addressing their needs.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Reshma. I'm very proud to have you in our show today. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.